Well, welcome back to Against the Grain Living with Jeremy Moore. It's been a little bit since I've been up at the property. I think March 18th was the last time I was up with the Scandic, and we are May 14th today. So I'm going up to the property with Connor in the canoe, and we're going to assess what's been going on for several weeks. But just been busy with spring stuff around here. I'll give you a little insight of what's been going on, tying up my time. So we've been starting a vegetable garden. I took a bit of footage of this, but I'm probably not gonna make a video of it. Anyway, this is the coverall that I lost the tarp. I had all these pads, Tapcon them down, or anchored, concrete anchored them down. Don't have much in there yet, but we got water storage all set up. 3 of them along the house. Hasn't rained much. It's been a fairly dry spring, so we've been acquiring all those and trying to do this on the cheap, but we're still getting stuff set up. I built a little gate there a couple days ago, and then of course, I don't know if you've seen them yet, those 2 big fur balls running around me keep me busy. They're finally just going into the pond on their own this morning. Had some pretty funny footage of that. Then aside from putting away the 2 snowmobiles and the snowblower and taking the sled deck off the truck, winter tires and all that fun spring stuff, I've built this dog enclosure for these guys so they can have somewhere to play outside all day while we're working. It's about 1/2 acre. Got the page wire fence from my dad at the farm. He took out a fence line, so I got to reuse that, and I cut the cedar posts out of the property here. This long one's going to be a clothesline pole going in that hole. I only have 8 inches of soil though, so I got to figure out how I'm going to brace that, and then it's going to run to that 6x6 there. And a little dog house I built out of lumber I had here and steel that friends gave me. We got another tall pole out of the corner that's going to run over to that outlet there, so I can have power in the dog house for heated water bucket and stuff like that in the wintertime. We had dug all those posts by hand. Didn't have the tractor for 3 weeks because it was getting serviced down at the farm. So I carried all these cedar posts out of the woods, stripped them of bark, burned the bottoms. I don't know if you can see. Burned the bottoms, and then Dad came and showed me how to do all the brace wire and stuff in the corners. Helped me out one Saturday. Pond's already starting to drop, but aside from some projects in the house and this big one out here, I don't know how the lighting will be, but there is a window here. I have it blocked for the summer. In the winter time there'll be a half door across here, so they just come in underneath, and then the west south sun from this direction will be able to shine in there and heat that space up a little bit for them. But I want to hang a jolly ball off of this cantilevered 4x4, see if they'll play with it. But yeah, aside from veggie garden, flower gardens, rain collection, this dog pen, and then I got the sled deck sitting up there and converted the truck back to my summer setup. So I'm just about to load up the canoe, waiting on Connor to show up. Got all the camping stuff packed up. Fortunately, the bugs are going to be brutal, so we got the racks up there and the canvas back on. And I got my fuel cans fastened to my bracing that I now have in a shovel. So I just pulled up the phone tape that was on this and went right back to my summer mode. So the sled deck just sits on that and bolts down like you've seen in the past. But as you can see, need the grass. Grass needs to be cut. So one last thing, spit off the loader and get all that stuff all the grass cut. But we have snow blowers all serviced, put away, and all my toboggans and log carriers and everything are stacked in there, and both sleds are away, all serviced on the trickle charger. And I also picked up an old cook stove from a buddy on the fire department. So it's the rest of the parts are over here. I had to unload that without the tractor here. warming oven and everything. So I want to try to restore that this summer for the cabin build. But yeah, been busy. One of the other things that have been going on is fire department's got me doing another course. It's about 7 weeks, very condensed, so that's been taking up a lot of my time. Fire investigator course, a lot of homework and stuff. So I got another 3 weeks left, but I decided to have a break and even get up there during bug season with Connor and just assess how the trapper's cabin's doing. And the build site, I've never seen the build site without snow, and I got a tarp and a water tote up there, so I want to string that all out and try to collect water so I can have some bulk water storage at the build site for mixing concrete and stuff like that when I get around to it. But yeah, the trailer also opened up last night, so I went and got eaten alive by black flies up there. So yeah, busy. Anyway, we're gonna try to keep pushing forward with this project up at the property. Just thought I'd give you a little insight what's been going on for the last several weeks. We made it to the trapper's cabin. Didn't get to use my plastic enclosure this winter. I was too busy working away. Never got a group of people up here to enjoy the shelter out of the wind. But it is hot. Bugs haven't been too bad this time of day, but that's 25 Celsius up there. They're expecting 31 with the Humidex in May 14th. We got all our gear in. There's Connor. Probably gonna cook on this all weekend. We're just gonna assess what's going on and probably gonna set up a tent on the other side of the enclosure, just on the deck, and probably leave the fly off it, catch the breeze. It's way too hot in this thing in the summertime. Can you see all of that mess on film? Black flies. Just checked out the outhouse. It's all good inside. Still sitting good and sturdy. The old trapper's cabin there's got same old mice problem that I'll have until I tear it down and build something better. But this blue bin that they're famous for getting into, this blue bin had just nuts and bolts and a hand drill and stuff like that, and mouse nest in that. Connor ready for bugs. I got a head unit on. We're gonna take that tarp with us and a day pack and go tinker, but this wood stove's full of mice too. So I had those all opened up so that prevent the inside from rusting, it could breathe, and the mice jumped in behind, built a nest in there, so I closed those off. So they're stuck in there. Other than that, everything's pretty good shape. We got tent popped up, probably going no fly. We'll throw it on the deck when we're done tinkering with stuff for the day, but maybe play some darts tonight. We'll hang the board back on our board there. And we're gonna go up to the build site now, and then after we're done tinkering and walking, and we're gonna try to have a swim. Just took a small detour, check out the bridge that I built this past winter. Might as well just try her out. Didn't get washed out. That's always good. Nothing like rework. Look at that. Water levels seem to be a lot lower this year, especially in the springtime. It got hot so fast. But I only want to cross this a couple times with a snowmobile, but it definitely worked better than just mud bogging last year. That's a pleasant sight up there. We stopped here for a few minutes now and the bugs are catching us. But my wood piles didn't fall down the cliff, so that's good. So there's where the original build was going to go. And now we're just up a bit. There's one of the things I was worried about. I stacked all this when there was a ton of snow. And I didn't know how much these would sink. This one sunk a lot. This one sunk till it hit another log that was under the snow. So we're on a bit of an angle. I was hoping I didn't see this whole stack 40 feet down. It's probably gonna stay. It was enough that that extension ladder slid off the slippery tarp. That's how much of an angle it got to. I hauled in a Rubbermaid with tarp and rope, and I'm gonna find a spot out of the way for this thing and try to string. It's a big tarp, so I'm probably gonna double it over or put it in a quarter, just to try to fill this thing up over the summer somewhere. So it's 6:15, just got the dishwater on over the fire there. We're just finishing up some grub, some steaks, some pasta, shallot. But this is what's going on. So we're sitting here, no bug nets on, no nothing. I don't know why the black flies aren't bugging us, but they're all over this plastic on the inside, and we're just sitting here eating away. No nets on. Listening to that thunder. I don't know if you can hear that. May 14th, and we weren't expecting anything, but the old saying, smells like rain. We're getting that right now, and she's rumbling. Big old gray cloud up there right now. Still 24 degrees at 6:15. So we might be putting a fly on that after all. And might be getting it under there. We'll see. So as you can see, I'm back at the house. Just gonna pump out some of this water over to the storage tub over at the garden. Maybe run the sprinkler a little bit off of it. I have all sorts of adapters that I can hook up for sprinklers. Just your garden hose sprinklers off of that little Honda pump. So we'll get that done today, but the reason you didn't see any more footage of us up at the property there is because we got rained out all night, well, early morning, Sunday morning, and then the whole paddle out was raining. So we didn't get much more done. And to be honest, we only took the tarp over to the new build site. We never even set it up. There's 3 birch trees and another poplar I want to take down. I didn't want, I want to get those on the ground before I set up anything or get stuff in the way. So we'll set that up at a later date. We just went for a hike, trying to find a better route in. There's a couple nasty spots that we established with the Scandic, and we found a couple go-arounds. So we marked those out, and that'll be a project here in the fall when there's no bugs to cut another new fresh path in. Try to make it easier to get in there. And then went for a swim and just enjoyed a weekend away from things. But that'll wrap up the little update video. If you want to stick around, I might throw in some footage of what I did to build the garden there. And hope you enjoy it. Anyway, we'll see you next time I get at things. Welcome back to Against the Grain Living. It's April 2nd today. Just gonna enlighten you on what's gonna keep me from the property for the next little while. I know you're not into gardening, and neither am I, but we're about to be. So the price of groceries these days, we're gonna try growing a few of our own vegetables. But because I got those 2 big fur balls over there, Moose and Tank, and we have a lot of wildlife around here. I have this old Shelter Logic frame I got from my aunt a few years back, and I lost the cover a couple winters ago. It's just way back here, back corner of my property. I don't know if you can see the house up there or not, but we're gonna relocate this and some of the blocks and stuff, and that little table that's back there. I'll put a new top on it and just be for gardening tools and potting plants and stuff like that. We're not gardeners, but we're gonna give her a whirl, and I'm gonna try to do this on the cheap. So I have 3 rolls old snow fence. That's gonna be my fencing. This is gonna be my framework, and I got the box blade on the back of the tractor to break virgin ground, and some manure from parents' farm, 2-3-year-old stuff, to try to get us going here this year. And I have all that slab wood from milling for the cabin, so I'm gonna make a couple raised beds on the north side of this little shelter. But my brother was up last weekend, picked up my tractor. He's doing a service on it down at the farm, so we're doing this all without the tractor, and because the ground's soft, I'm not using the truck either. So we're hand bombing everything from here. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it. Nope, it's way up in there by the house, somewhere that gets sun almost the entire day. So that's what we're up to today. Well, there's the house. This is where we're going, and it's about 300 yards over there. Just up in there is where it was. So we got a lot of trips back and forth. I got the first, so there'll be 7 pieces like that. I'll have most of it together. We'll stand it up and put it back together. But this here, the angle that I'm at on the yard should face straight south. And yeah, so I need 1 more of these blocks. That's all I'm gonna have to buy. I had 13 of them, needed 14. There's all my snow fence sitting there. So I'll just need the tap cons to screw these down into that. Other than that, I got lots of wood screws here for everything else. I got wire and zip ties to fasten that up, and lots of 1-inch boards and 2x material for anything I need that way. But basically I chose this location because I have 100 feet 1.5 inch hose for my gas powered water pump. So I'm gonna put a IBC 1,000-liter tote on that downspout, and then one in the greenhouse, and the house will fill that one up, and I can pump it here. And then I also have that rain barrel there as well. I used to have 3 here, but I took one to the property for water collection up there. So I'll be able to reach this, and I'll probably put the 2 raised beds on the north side of this. And when I, depending on how this season goes, because I have this arch structure above it, if I ever want to extend the growing season and put some polycarbonate, hard plastic, or just sheeting or something, I can turn this into a greenhouse. But for today, we're going to get it set up on these. Probably not screwed to the blocks. I don't have the tap cons, and I don't have that 14th block, but I'm going to get some tarps laid out and try to kill off the sod, the grass a little bit, so that I can rip it up with a box blade, and then bum my rototiller off my uncle. Hopefully, he doesn't know that yet. Just get me started, and then someday I'll get my own. This is where we ended up yesterday. So I just purchased 3 more of those pier blocks or whatever. Got a tarp today and some masonry anchors. And so we're gonna try to get the blocks all sitting fairly square and level, and get it fastened down. And hopefully I can get all that snow fence around the outside. So I'm gonna leave the ends open until I can get it tilled up through the middle, but I'm gonna lay that tarp at the end of the day and try to kill off this grass. And then that'll get blocked off in the future, and there'll just be a gate up here at the front for us to get in and out. And I have 2 old horse stall mats, the 4x6, I think they're 3/4 inch thick rubber mats. They're still over there. I'll get them sitting right here where my water tote's gonna sit on. Try to help with water erosion issues. And there's that workbench frame that was sitting over there that I'm gonna brace up and put a top on today, and it's gonna sit directly behind the IBC tote. And gonna give the Honda a test. Haven't really had to use this at all. I've had it for probably nearly 6 months now. I bought it for going to the property, but I just finished installing an hour meter on it. So we got it wrapped up, so we're gonna fire this up and see if my install job worked. been a while since I had her going. Choke. So it's flashing away, but it'll have to run for 6 minutes before it registers a tenth of a minute. So yeah, we got the little electric hammer drill cord for fastening it. So I'll just let that run, make sure it works, and get the level line out with these blocks. A couple weeks here, we might have a garden. So we're not trying to make everything perfectly level. The structure doesn't really need to be level, but we're gonna try to get all of these blocks on the same plane. So I just got a string there, so hoping the string will touch all the blocks at the exact same time, and you won't have any more pressure on individual ribs that are going over. So these two, I just drew that string tight, and these two need to go down, and this one needs some soil underneath it. And other than that, this side's pretty good. I'll just square them up and then go and do the same on the other side. But our install here was good. We got the hammer drill, all the depth all set. She's ready to roll. Just gonna throw some anchors in those blocks once I get them where I want them, and then move on. So we're just finishing up this side. We got a string on that to get them all the same. So I just use these 3/8 masonry anchors in there. Just put one per leg, and the ends of these Shelter Logics are a little different, so I drilled that out 1/2 inch. Of course, I trusted the container on these that I already had, said they're good for masonry. I don't actually have a set of masonry bits, drill bits here. The only multi-kit I have is up at the trapper's cabin, and they don't work worth crap. So I'll have to pick up another set, or a masonry drill bit set, and pre-drill these, or just get some actual Tapcon masonry bits. But they're gonna hold the floor outsides. I got those down a little bit just so it can't move left and right for the setup. But now we're moving over to this side, straighten up that crookedness, and then we're gonna slide up all these crossbars to the height up here somewhere, the height of the snow fence, and start fastening that all down. So this is where we're at. We put string line across the top there at 4 feet, slid all the crossbars that were down there, like these, and strung out some snow fence. Now we're just wire tying it. So we'll go along and put some in the middle of the crossers, middle of those. We just have top and bottom so far. So this style of snow fence had more material, so we put it on the north side. The other two rolls I had, they were thinner snow fence, so they should let in more light on the south, west, and east side. But yeah, we're just gonna jump over to the other side and get tarp down in the middle. Here in the corner, I decided to use my noggin instead of going to buy different stuff. I have used what I had, like I should have right from the beginning, and just started them in the pipe and then dropped them down in, so everything's connected. Hi, Moosey. Hi. Well, just gotta get those tools and the generator inside. We're gonna call it a day. A little out of breath. Just hauled this 4x6 3/4 inch rubber mat back from the other side, and I missed my tractor. Anyway, that was my little way of hauling it, because you get arm pump just using grip strength. So we're just setting, because they're gonna come here anyway, that's why I brought them, and they're good weight. So I'm gonna set this across this edge and then go back, and there's 3 14-foot like laminated 2x4s. So there's 2 2x4s laminated together, 14 feet long. They were beams that were buried in the dirt going across, that 6 of the legs were screwed down in when I was over there. So they're gonna come here because they're gonna be part of the gate going across that way. And they'll be good weight in the meantime. So the tarp's out, snow fence is up either side. Gonna let this kill off the grass until I get the tractor back, and then throw the tines down on the box blade. And I'll keep you posted then. So this is how the garden's gonna stay for this season. I had a spare post from the dog pen. That became my gate post, just a couple of hinges on there. Just a real simple latch. But we're all full up of water. And I sprayed the garden this morning. Got a lot of weeds coming up. That's that nice 3-year-old manure. But there's about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 yards. I don't know how Big Dad's bucket is on his farm tractor, but he gave me 2.5 scoops. So we got that all tilled in. And we had 4 different plants planted in here, but we were a little premature, and we had a night of frost. But we had the lettuce survived and one of the tomato plants. We have a bunch of stuff in the ground now as well, and some bulbs and stuff. And then we have some plants started in the house. So once I gotta get some gardening tools. They're sold out everywhere. So once I can get my hands on some of them, I gotta get in there and till it up again and get some of these weeds out of there. This is what you can stumble across when it's horse manure. A couple horseshoes I tilled up out of there from 2.5 scoops manure. So that's it for a little bit here, and I'll let you know, give you some updates on this garden throughout the year if you're interested, and hopefully it turns out good for us. And then I'll see you next time back up at the property.